Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Threadlings, a filmmaking production diary. I am your host, Miguel Ortega, and this is Tran Ma.
Hello, everyone.
I'm not going to turn on my camera because we've been getting some slowness, so hello and goodbye for now. But
Okay,
I'll be back.
so you guys will just be stuck looking at me.
Yes.
Um, okay, so as you can see, it's not on my screen. Is well, if you've been following, it's one of the extra characters. And I guess today I decided just I'm actually looking at this for the first time.
So these are some designs. So we asked Rain, who's an amazing artist and friend of ours, and a student at Gnomon, but she's our friend first, that to help us design some of these like headgears for some of the extras because we got to create a bunch of different threadling people walking around looking goofy. So these are some of the designs that she did for some of the. I don't want to call them helmets. What is that?
They're hats of
Their,
some sort.
their hats.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we had a discussion. We talked, and uh, we were talking about it. I'm like, well, what would be great if you can just give me shapes that give me ideas. They won't turn out exactly like whatever you give me because I can't control Marvelous in the same way, right?
Yeah.
So you're just trying to like build cloth somehow and try to match these shapes. But what they do is they give me things to like try to aim for, and they give me a lot of ideas, which takes a lot of like bandwidth off of my head, and it also gives me like just again, it's just fresh ideas. I'm not the one always churning them out. So this is one set she gave me. She did give me some other ones, um, but this is the one I haven't actually looked at yet. But they work pretty well, I think, for the extras. Some of them I'm not sure how I can make, but you never know what you'll get just by trying to make
Zoom
them.
into the little sketch on the
This one,
the little red thing there. The little
this
I
one,
see.
right? Yeah. Um,
I like that one too. That it's just a bunch of like spikes coming out.
like cones like this.
Yeah,
This
'cause-
one's probably doable actually. So yeah, I don't know what she was picturing for this. Maybe I should have asked her like, "Hey, what is this supposed to look like on the side?" But yeah, so these are really great, and we're gonna try to make them today, and then hopefully it looks okay. Uh, I feel like this one I can do. This one I was gonna do this one, but I like don't really know how that's gonna turn out. Um, because my interpretation of it might be really odd.
and the idea with these is, of course, they feel like Muppety characters. They feel like they're like something that Jim Henson would have had in the '80s. That's especially these guys, which are like the extras. So they're a little bit more generic on purpose.
Yeah, so they're meant to be generic so that they kind of blend in together. You don't really want background characters to all look like superstars because then you would have to have so many of them.
If they're
Um,
too distinct, you mean?
yeah, if they're too distinct, like you want them to be, well, if you're going to have five and if the five are really similar but slightly different, uh, then you can have like kind of a big crowd of the five. And then again, the more unique each one is, you'd have to have more than five because it would be really obvious that that one is being replicated over and over in a group type shot. So I'll just put this on my other screen. You guys saw it. I'm just gonna try and make it. I don't know how it's gonna turn out. I have this base from last time, and I think maybe I'll start from this. There are some seams that make it tricky, like these type of shapes here, in order to like kind of put a shape across it. I can try and see what happens. Um, I can't really get rid of this seam because if you look at the shape here as I'm tapping, they're two very different
Shapes.
shapes that don't really work well as one shape. Um,
I love those seams. The more seams, the better.
yeah, they're cool, but they become more difficult when you're trying to make stuff on top of it. I think what
Oh,
I,
I see what you're saying. Like once you're trying to like stick a cone on top,
yeah,
you gotta kind of put it in the middle.
yeah, you do actually put it in the middle. Like if I have this shape here, like let's say I want to make this one and I'm thinking about where to root it. Hold on. I'm thinking about where to place it. I have to think about um, the base, which is definitely what I just said, the root. And that's as far as I can get here. I can get them to cross over. It would just be like pretty hard. I think what I'll do is I'll do something like this. I mean, I guess challenges are good. And I can see if I can copy and paste this one. So even if I grab this and I throw this off to the side, what this is here is like this red circle, and that's an internal line. But if I grab this and I put it off here, it's still connected to this one, right? So there's like,
That's because you drew it while it was on top.
yeah, I'll copy this. And the reason why I want to copy that, I want to see if I could paste it in here. And the way to know if they're still connected, if I do this. And the reason why I wanted to copy it was because it's the same exact circle size. And what I'm going to do is this really weird thing, which is literally just move it around. This might take a couple of tries.
I have some bookshelves, by the way, from Ethan, like textured.
Oh, you can show those.
Well, show
Yeah, I'll
your
just
stuff
keep
a
doing
little bit,
here.
and then I'll pull these up. He gave us a bunch of variations. They looked really pretty.
The one thing I noticed is they don't really come out like perfect circles. I think that's okay. Maybe that's fine. And then I want to throw one right here. This one would be kind of hard. Yeah, this one's a little tricky because it's over multiple pieces. And let's maybe like make this one a little bit larger and just try to guess. So they won't be perfectly circular.
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't, but it does. It does for marvelous.
It does.
Yeah, because sometimes like something being off will make it not.
Oh, I see what you have to do. That's a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
You like have to refine the equivalent position.
yeah. Well, you're just, and then there's like a kind of a M shape here, and they're not quite meeting.
But isn't that going to give it a little bit more shape?
Well, no. What it could do is, if they're not lined up and they're sewn on here, it's gonna make it messed up. I think here what I'll do is I'll just try to get these to line. Okay, so I think that's okay. And then there's maybe more. I don't know if I want to do more triangles in the back. And then I think here, if I look, at a cone, just Googling something real quick. Like if you're trying to make a cone, I mean, I think I know how to make it without looking at this, but I think it's helpful just to show everyone, like, how would you make something like
Oh, I
that?
see. That's like the pattern for a cone.
Yeah.
That's probably something every like a tailor knows how to do. Like that's their primitives, right?
Yeah. But how do you cut the cloth?
Yeah, super interesting.
This one is like Pac-Man. I don't know. And it's overlapping. If you have like a really great sewing pattern in the beginning, it really helps. I feel like it's just something like maybe like this. I think though, if I make this, I don't know if it's gonna hold that shape. Maybe I'll make something like this and we'll see how it turns out. One thing I want is for it to stand up straight. So, this is kind of hard. Okay, so this is what I'll do. I need to understand here. Let's pull up a pen. What this length is, like the actual numbers, right? So like this length all around is one circle. So, and I can't tell because the way this is placed. What you can do in Marvelous is you can select a edge like this, but it doesn't really end there. So let's see if I can add point to intersection. And then I'll also add a point here. And what that's doing is literally adding point to intersection. And then now if I select these edges and I shift select, under my mouse will give me the actual length. .46. I'm just going to write it up here because I won't remember that. How this affects that is like if I make, I'll just drag this over, this piece of cloth, this has to be 57.46. So that when it's sewn here, it's just the same because you don't really want it to be completely different. Shape I need up here for it to hold the point because it could just, you know, it could just like flop over like that. But we'll see. Okay, so let me erase this. Oops. No, I just wanted an eraser. All right. And I don't want to lose this number. Okay, so let's make a shape of some sort. Should I start with a circle? I've not made something like this before, so I don't seem like I know because I don't. So I'm not sure how big this needs to be. I also don't know if I need
You mean how big
this ring is.
I see.
Because the idea is I'm just going to take a part of it, right? And you know the height of something based on the distance here to here, like this.
Sure.
I have an idea that this has to be 57.46. I'm using a circle because it gives me a nice even curve, but maybe that's what I don't need. Maybe it makes it more complicated. Maybe I'll just stitch it. No, I'll just hang on to it. And then what I'll do is just try to add points. Oh, geez. Okay, so now I gotta pull up my calculator. I have a midpoint here. I'm gonna do 57.46 divided by 2, which is 28.73. What that means is I want this point to be 28.73, and I can tell it precisely 28.73 to 8.73, and it will place a point right there. And then what I'll do is this, because I'm a little bit lazy, is I'm just going to cut this and delete the other half. And I'll go back to my edit patterns and delete that, which now gives me half. And this curve looks maybe more than I want it to be. Okay. Now it gives me half the cone. And then what I can do here is I can unfold with symmetric editing. What that means is it gives me a mirror. And I can look at these points. They're kind of a little bit snappy. Maybe I'll reduce the number of points. And just move it over here. Now I kind of have a smooth curve. It's a little bit shorter, but I have something. This tells me also the height of this. It, you know, maybe need to be shorter. And then what I'll do here is just try to sew these, and then is figure out the sewing point. So what I mean by sewing point is like, where is this sew? from? Does it sew from here? It could be easy, but sometimes could act really weird. But I'll try. So there's like an order to it. Just to explain, like if I sew from here to here, I have to figure out where the start is, right? So then it would start from here and then go around here. And you just have to track those points. If you sew it wrong, it will just,
Be like inside out.
well, it could twist around and kind of explode. Anyone's used marbles enough, like if you go, oh yeah, it just exploded, and they just nod their head.
They just know.
Because that's how it goes. Let's go MN sewing. Let's zoom in. I'll click here and then continue that point here. Click up here, press enter as one line, and then we'll sew across and hit enter, and then we could see the shape. Okay. Hold on. Oh, I see what happened. It's trying to mirror this across the other side. Let's remove link to editing. And let's try to resew it. Okay, that looks more correct. Now, I'm just gonna leave it in this place and let it sew over to that piece. It's gonna wrap around. There's all kinds of bad stuff that could happen. So what I can do to prevent it is just freeze the items around it. Let's freeze it. That means like if this smashes into this, it won't blow this up. So you just gotta think of it like a rubber band, and it snaps back, and that's when it can explode. And I have the full grain leather, which is one of the most firm materials. Okay, and then we get something like this, which really doesn't look like a cone. And so it's like, I don't know if this is gonna look like a cone. And you kind of see what I mean. We'll sew them. And I'll think about how to get that shape. I don't think it's gonna make that shape. Well, I made something. It looks like an ear. What do you think
It
of
looks
it?
like an ear. It looks like a rabbit.
It does. Okay. Yeah. I think what I have to do is that maybe it is a circle. I mean, I keep looking at like this here. When you don't know the shape, it makes it a little bit trickier.
I look at that Pac-Man and I don't understand how that turns into a cylinder.
I can do a couple things that might help. Maybe it sucks that it's linked. The linked editing had to remove though. This I know is fine. So something is wrong up here. And just the way this wraps over here is a little bit weird. That looks more like a cone. What do you think?
I mean, isn't that exactly what you were trying to get? It looks like ears from the front because they look flat, but it's clearly dimensional.
Yeah, it's dimensional. It will, I'm not sure how this is going to sim, but let's do symmetric pattern with sewing. What that will do is just place it on that side. It kind of works.
It totally works.
Now, there's things I can do with this. Like if I create an internal line here and sim it. Feels like the ears are like, the point is like lost in here, like it's blunted. I guess it's okay. But what the internal line can do for me here is I can crease it by selecting the edge and then changing the fold angle. So it can come in like that as a crease, or it can come out more like a hard edge crease. I can't really see what it looks like. So I can hide my internal lines somewhere. Normally I know where to find it right away. Okay. And then what that does is give me a hard edge like that. This could actually change the shape. So if I just try to add some more, and these are free hands, they're not very even.
But I think these lend themselves to that.
Yeah. And I'll set this to the same value, like 30. And then let's see what it does when it creases them. It now looks like that. You see what I mean? I don't know if that's better or worse or anything.
Zoom into it.
So it has like a fold now.
I think it looks better when it's going in rather than out.
So let's try in. Let's reverse. So 180 is neutral. It does it by degrees, right? So it goes from 0 to 360, and 180 is the halfway point, which makes it neutral.
To me, when it connects out, it looks like paper. When it connects in, it looks quilted.
So I can do something like that.
Yeah, that looks way better.
And it's kind of collapses a little bit. You just have to be a little bit careful. Or I cannot have it at all, but I do want to get more detail if I can. So you also have a sewing edge here. So you can select this a sewn edge and do the same. What was this one at? And I learned that from the Marvelous people, and I did not know that for so many years. And now I use it all the time. Okay, so now it's like creased all around, like it's a funny cone thing. And then now I'll do like, I'll expose this again because I don't know where my circles are. So you can't really judge like how it's creasing when it's like that. Okay, so now we'll do this one. This one's kind of hard because I can only do half. I'll do the same thing here. I have to place points because I can't judge the length of this line. So I can right click these two edges, add point to intersection, which gives me points there. And I'll select these two edges and I'll do the same. And then from here, I'll just use a line. Okay. Clear that 33.82.
Netbug is saying, oh, a bunch of people just came in. Bobby, what's up? Netbug says all these characters in one room would look like they run a cult. Well, I'm glad you said that.
Okay, that's super funny that you just said that.
Because it's very culty.
Yeah, it is. The tone of everything is I don't know.
So we actually, since we're in the writing incubator, the ride back program, this past week we had to make a lot of changes to the script that we thought, okay, we were ready to start recording it, and they suggested a bunch of stuff, and we went in and did it, and we think it's for the better. Do you think it's for the better, Tran?
I absolutely think it's for the better.
Yeah.
Okay, I just removed these points because I think this cone is not large enough. It's not as big as I want it to be. So I'm going to scale this one up like this, and I don't know. If it's not like a perfect circle, it won't be a cone, and that's why I'm trying to match them, but they really just don't really quite match, but it's fine. You always want to make it perfect first, though. Okay, let's try lining this back up. Okay, cool. Let's do the same thing. I'll select these edges, add point, a point to intersection, like this. Okay, cool. Let's re-evaluate the length again. So I'll shift click, and under my mouse, it says 40.78. Then write it down because I won't remember. And then I know now I need to have something like that size. I'll grab this, I'll duplicate it, Control C, Control V. I'll place it over here because it's going to be half of it. It moved over here, but in the 3D space. So I'll just do this. And what I mean by half is I'm going to cut that off, get rid of that. And then this edge here needs to be, let's get rid of this.
Has anybody watched Avatar: The Last Airbender? Warrior Maddie, this is marvelous designer.
Yeah, I really want to watch. I was such a huge fan
I'm curious.
when it was a TV cartoon, like the um, first season, not first season, first series. Like I love it.
Yeah, the creators did leave though. That's the only thing that's scary. But
Yeah, that's the only thing that's scary. But I have heard good things. So, okay. Now I have this half here that's all crumpled. I do symmetric pattern with sewing. So that gives me the other weird half that's also crumpled. It's not really good for it to be crumpled, but I think it's okay. And I'm going to sew these here. So let's go back to sew, MN. We'll sew from here to here, hit enter, and to here, hit enter. And I'll do a basic sew. I won't sew it all around because it's crumpled. So just gives it more leeway. I will freeze these so it doesn't freak out. I should unfreeze them because they might freak out and I don't realize it. Meaning like the hat might just really hate having these things on top of it. And you want to know that like right away because if it does, that means the design doesn't work. Okay, now I have a. He looks really funny. Just unfreezes. Let's see if it freaks out with the cones on top. Okay, it's readjusting. It seems okay. What do you think?
I mean, it looks idiotic, which is good, right? I would put the seams on the middle one if you can.
I will.
I think it needs that.
I'll do it right now. I mean, do they stand out too much? I can make it shorter.
Well, it definitely stands out. But if you saw not cat, what am I saying, cactus? If you saw Cot alone, you'd think he stands out as well, right? Like they all look so weird. But once you have a room full of weird looking people, maybe
Maybe like they're all just weird together.
yeah.
I'm gonna maybe bring it down so it's a little bit shorter. And then there's the creases there. And it looks like that. Okay, so I don't know if I want to do any more of this complexity back here. I might just leave it. Like that's enough, right? For a hat variation or no?
100%, that's it.
All right, cool. So I have hat one.
Like I would even use that exact same hat that you have there and then like just replace the cylinders and like put spheres on it like what Cot has, but just 3 spheres.
I thought you don't want anyone else to have spheres. No? Let's add some air pressure. Wasn't Caught like the only one who has like balls on his head?
Yeah, balls on the head. Yes, he he's the only one. So Ethan is asking, who's this little guy? These are just extras, Ethan.
Let's see the chat. Yeah, he's just an extra. So if you're just joining, Rain has given us sketches, and they're just like serving us inspiration and ideas. And I won't be able to match them because it's marvelous, exactly. But they will help me anyway in just coming up with more stuff.
Tetsuo says, once everyone is weird, no one is. That's exactly what we're hoping.
Yeah. Now when I put air pressure, this is funny. Look at what that does.
That kind of looks cool.
Yeah.
I actually like that more.
It's really weird.
He's like I think that's really cool.
I think it's cool too. Um, I can push the air pressure. I don't know what it will do. Let me just save it.
Push it and see.
Also, they might not sim well when they're running. But we'll see. Let's push the air pressure. I'll double it, and then we'll sim it, and then see what it does. It seems like it forces the point to go inside itself. Okay, so it's not really doing anything as I increase it. If I put too much, I think it pulls the hat up. So I'll just leave it at 15. I'll mess with the weft and warp. Just curious what that will do. So what this does, weft and warp is the direction of the thread. And I'm changing to 105. 100 is 100% its original size. And if I put 105, it's 5% larger.
The weft reminds me of some of the names we were thinking about for the warriors.
Yeah.
The weft warriors.
So I think this is okay. I'll just leave this. And I'll save this as I didn't mean to overwrite that. I just call it extra C. And we'll call it extra C. And I'll just try another one out. Give it a second. Which one should I do next?
Let's see.
It actually worked out okay. I was kind of surprised. Okay.
I actually think that before you jump onto another one that is completely different, I would push what you have there and just make something that is basically the same.
Well, I could do them on the side of the head.
Yeah, like that.
I can try this weird one too, whatever the heck this is.
Yeah. Tell you what, if this ever becomes something bigger than just a short, we're gonna make $1 zillion off hats.
Okay, so
Ethan says he loves the sketches. Bobby says nice sketches. I like the star one. Which one is the star one?
I think, I don't know, this one. Or, I mean, this one's kind of similar. They just have sides. Maybe these are stars. Let's just throw them on the side of the head. Okay, so what I'll do here.
Netbug says he saw Avatar on a TV the size of a mountain rock. Is that huge or is that small?
Yeah, a mountain. Okay, let's get rid
Bobby
of
says yes, that one.
this one here. If I'm trying to move it to the side. Ooh, that makes it more difficult, but it's okay. And what I'm going to do here is just get rid of the sewing so that they're not attached, because that could really super mess stuff up. and I'll grab these points that were added and just, okay, so it broke it when I added those points. So I just we'll remake it. Let's just start again. And I get to keep my funny cone shapes, I guess. And I'll come back here, draw a circle, and then these will be the new placements. I feel like maybe over here, then it's like a cone outside. What if it was like really big? I don't know.
Tetsuo asked if we're using USDs. Not yet, but we're not opposed to it. We just haven't looked into it much. Do you remember when we went to Finland and everyone was talking about USDs? We went to a conference there that we got invited to,
And I don't know why, because we're not that smart.
and it was like really technical. It was really, really technical.
It's a bunch of super smart people talking about pipeline.
And we were the only ones that were not pipeline. And that was the first time we ever heard the word USD. And that's the only thing those guys talked about in that conference. Remember, it was just USD, USD,
Yeah, it
USD.
was just days and hours of USD.
And we were like, oh, we've never even heard of this thing at the time. This was years ago already, but we were like, what the hell is USD? That's like, for us, it was US dollars. And
Yeah, we just
yeah,
didn't know what they were saying.
yeah. I mean, we
Um,
figured it out fairly quickly, but we had never heard of it up to that point.
but it was years ago, and they were talking about like it's going to be the next big thing. But it took, now we're seeing it being used and incorporated, but that took years, right? That was like so many years ago.
For it to be like totally standardized and
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's yeah. Someone is asking, wouldn't it be easier to make those designs in a different program than inflate them in Marvelous?
No, no way. That's a terrible thing. I don't like to do that because I've had debates. So my idea is terrible, but I debate with other people on that. I don't think it's a good idea because you cannot control the mesh or modify it once you import it in. Like I might do it for some things, but like if you bring in a shape and you just turn it into a garment, which you can go file, import something, right? And then you can tell it to act like a piece of cloth, and it will. But if you want to change the shape of it, you can't. And if you want to change the text, so the resolution, you also can't. Um, and then the other thing is you don't even know if it's going to sim. So can I make a shape exactly like this weird one? Yes, right? But will it actually like continue? Can it simulate? Like it might work if I have it as a still piece, but then as soon as I try to sim it and have the character walk, it might just collapse or explode, like and shoot all over the place. So like if you're making something in an external program and it looks really cool and you bring it in here, many things can happen. One, it could explode when it sims, it could collapse and not maintain the shape. And then you're just making something that is just not compatible as a piece of cloth. So it's just better, in my opinion, just to come straight and just do it all in here because it's going to work. And it's much faster this way. But there are a lot of people who say they can do that just fine, and that's cool. For me, it doesn't work. Okay, let's add points here. And let's add points here. Okay, so now I have this. Do the same, we'll add the math of these lines. Okay, let's try not to move the edges. It's really easy to like move the edges by accident.
It looks like it.
Yeah, you have to be patient. So this is 80.73. And then I'll grab this one here and just simplify it first. Okay. And then I need this to be 80.73. And it's 56. So the easiest way to go about that is just to scale it up. There's ways to display the sewing lengths, which would make my life easier. Let's see if I can get it to show up. There we are. And then I'm aiming for 80.73, which is this value here. I'm going to divide it in half. So I'm looking for each of these edges to be 40.36. Okay, it's a little bit bigger. All right, that's close. These guys don't like to be resized. You can easily scale something smaller in this program. Let's freeze these. But when you make things larger, it doesn't really like it.
It likes it's fine with it being smaller, just not.
Yeah, because the material didn't exist. It doesn't know what to do. So when you're making something smaller, you're basic like to it. It's cutting away. Oh, there's some questions here. You want to look at them? Let's see.
Are we doing all the cloth sims in Marvelous? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so all the clothing is made directly in
That was the
Marvelous.
only question we didn't
Yeah.
answer.
And it goes straight into, it gets exported, it gets simulated in Marvelous, and then it gets brought into Unreal, just like that.
As an alembic.
Yeah. Okay, let's do the sews. I'll hit enter, and then we'll sew this here. I'll hit enter. And then before I sim, I should freeze all these because it really might not like it. And I'll just sim that. And then these will hopefully kind of correct themselves because they're really twisted. They might be too big, too long. And it's folding in on itself, so I'm just going to pull it.
Mubiru Haruna says hello. Hello.
And then let's pull this one out. I think it's too high for sure. Okay, let's pull this out here. It looks like ears. Let's sew these here. So it can be closed.
I think these are great because they look similar enough, but they're different.
So we like the cone heads.
I like them.
Okay. Is this too big though?
Yeah, they're big, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
Because I can make them shorter. Possibly. Well, let's crease them too and see what it does. So I'll add a crease here. Okay. And then we'll set this, I've been using 260 as a value. Oh, and then I want to crease the sew I just made also to 260. And it's not really tucking in. Oh, I know what I did last time. I gave it air pressure.
Air pressure made a big difference.
Hmm. I don't think I removed it though. I mean, I can pull it in. I don't know if it's going to hold it though. Kind of did it naturally. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to hold it, meaning it could just pop out while it's simming. It is a background character, so maybe I don't care, you know?
You know, those things shouldn't even be simmed. Like, they should just be parented to the head.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
Hold on, I'm gonna be right back.
You mean like rigged and like set there. So we're not cloth simming all of this stuff. Okay, so now I have like this weird head. Let me save it as extra D. I think the idea is for us to have like our base clothing be similar, maybe change up the collar. But most of like the differences in their clothing will be in their hat. Okay, so now we have something like this. I don't know what else to do. I could put a cone down here. It's kind of a lot of work. Do you think I should go with this shape?
Which one? The star one?
This one right here, where it's like this one and these three. I don't know what this is. So I'm
I
not
like those shapes.
even this one here too.
Yeah, I mean they're all so silly.
Okay. All right. Let's try making that. Where would this one go? It has to go right here. Maybe it has to be smaller though. I don't think it fits. So I'll just draw a circle like this. This guy's up here because I don't know. It's from the previous one, and I might be able to use it. I feel like I just want to make my life easy and just put it here. And maybe make it smaller. And then paste one over here. And then they'll just have like the same cone. And paste one over here. And then I don't have to do all the complicated sew. And it's also easier for me to just know the length. Like I just select all that. It's 54.87. And then what I'll do here is I'll steal this one, copy and paste. Let's leave the big one up here. Let's organize the other side. And I'll simplify this. I'm just removing all this stuff because it can make it actually sim worse. And then this time, 54.87. I just pull up a calculator, divided by 2. So I'm gonna look for 27 on this edge that says 40.
Tetsuo, it's a obscene amount of hours, but right now we're not uh we're not putting in a ton of hours. We're putting in an insane amount of hours. But I think the this story is much more complex than it should probably be, and we keep going back to the script, in particular because we're in that writing program. So we're getting notes from people all the time, and we're just trying to make it as good as possible. And whenever we get those sort of notes, it completely sidetracks us, which we hope to just be. Is that right, Trent?
Yeah, we're gonna be done with it. And it's just gonna be what it is. It's also like a really weird concept too. So it can be really hard to understand, I think, on a piece of paper in text, right? Uh,
It's very weird.
yeah,
And then there's also some writers that are not
visual.
so when they read something that is not grounded on like daddy issues or uh, family issues, it just goes. They just can't connect with it at all. So yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Now I have these guys. Let's mirror these over here. And now I'm going to have all these little cones here. These are kind of interesting, like just open like this.
yeah, it's gonna give you all kinds of issues.
Yeah, let's sew them closed. In Marvelous, one tip I can give everyone is just do things in steps. I've tried to do shortcuts and do a bunch of things. There was that question about to, build it somewhere else. I've done that. I've gone down that route, and it hasn't always been. It just hasn't worked. And I just kind of went, okay, you just do it the right way. And for me, the right way is just, doing it all here. I'm just checking my versions, making sure I'm not overriding. Okay, so now I have all these cones on his head. Let's let it save. Oh, shoot. Wait, point that much. But,
So
he's,
nothing on the top.
no, I'm going to try to make this weird ass thing right here.
I see. I think that looks really cool, like a little star guy.
Is he a star guy? I don't know. I don't see these right here. They're like not placed.
Well, he looks like a porcupine. He's got spikes everywhere.
Yeah, but for his front view, we don't see it, but we're not going to always see him only in front view. Maybe if I move it over the circle here. And again, the issue I have is I run into that seam. But let's let it sim over. Maybe it'll come out. Yeah, it just comes down here, which is cool. I don't want it to be too long. I could make it bigger on this one, which is this one here. And what I'll do is I'll just pull this point and then let it relax. And then we'll also crease it. And he's Starhead, I guess.
Starhead.
And then just place these creases here. Just some other comments. Hold on. Let's do this here.
There's no new comments.
Oh,
We already talked about that.
okay. I'm just behind. Okay, so I'll just grab all these internal lines.
Restart on Sega Genesis.
What's Restar?
That's probably a character. Let me look it up.
Okay, so these guys are good. They have these weird pointy
Oh yeah, I
things.
see.
What does it look like?
He looks like a literal star.
Let me Google that.
No, it's like literally a star with legs.
Oh, I see. Hold on, just for everyone else to see. This guy,
That's funny.
he's a star on legs. Literally.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's inflate these guys. They have pressure. I think their pressure is too high. If the pressure is too high, it can become really unstable. So I'm bringing them back down. Basically, pressure is like a balloon. So if you, like literally, it's actually a balloon air pressure inside of Marvelous. So if it's too strong, it can just kind of fly away off the head. But the pressure is giving me a kind of look. Okay, let's pull this in. This weird thing I'm doing, which is pushing the points in like this. Again, they might just pop out. I could probably come up with a way to keep them inside.
Like in the way they're stitched together or something.
Mm-hmm. They're also like extras, kind of don't care if it comes out as long as it doesn't jiggle around in a shot or something. So let's tuck this in. I mean, I guess this is real life. You can just like glue stuff and you can. And this one's really tucked in. And then let's shove this point in here. It's like really weird.
I like that, how it looks with them going inside like that. That's such a weird
It is so weird.
aesthetic.
This project's definitely made me use Marvelous in ways I've never used it.
I don't think anybody's used Marvelous in the way you're using it.
It's so weird. Okay, now I have his head. Is I'm just gonna unfreeze the hat. Tetsu asks if I'm creating patterns for each character, or can some of them be shared for another character?
These are kind of using
Yeah,
a little bit of the
they're using the same base, and it's kind of like just like changing the toppings on something,
yeah.
like different icing or whatever. But they're all. I'll just get rid of these.
I think color's also going to make a big difference. Color them different, and it'll look like a completely different character.
Yeah, let me sim this. Let's see if it blows up. Okay, it's okay. I'll save this project. And just so you understand like what I mean by air pressure, I'll just make a new scene and I'll just pull in one of their avatars. So I have a sense of scale. Let's pull in a dude. Let's close this. So if you make like, I don't know, let's say I just make a pillow. And I just rotate this, let it fall. And let's say I double it up. I just have another piece here. And I sew these together. I can do it in 3D. Just find the sew tool in 3D. Okay. I usually like to do it in 2D. It's a little weird for me in 3D. You can kind of see that. But I don't know my edges very well. Okay, so I'll sim these together, and it's just like two-sided, two pieces of cloth. If I grab these two and apply pressure, it will just balloon up. It won't fly away. But if I grab this bottom piece and I apply a negative pressure, like this, it just shot up. So you have to counterbalance the pressure. Otherwise, it can do that. And that's what I mean. You have to be careful. Let's see if I can pull it back. So there's like things to think about. So that's why I'm worried, like if you apply too much pressure on one end. So here, this is fine because this pressure is 34 and this one also is pressure of 34. And it just, they push each other apart so they don't fly away. There's like all these little things to think about.
Like poltergeist.
Yeah. Did someone say that? Like poltergeist? So let's say here, if I sew it together or if I scrunch it up together, I don't know if I can sew this. I never tried to sew a circle close. Okay, but it's one piece. It's inside out too. So I'll flip the normal. And it becomes one piece. I think that if I apply pressure, oh, it didn't fly away. It's a taco. But that can happen. It's like really heavy too. It like falls down. It doesn't like, it's not simming well. So if I pick it up, when I drop it, it falls really fast. And it feels like it's trying to fly. It's not like a direct drop down. So like, it's just something to think about. It's in your clothing when you're sim, when you apply it. Like you have to be super careful because you can get really unexpected things. You're telling to do something like it's not really what it's used for. Like the way I'm making the hats and everything, it's kind of weird, right? So let's not say that. What do you think?
I think it looks cool. I think, you feel done with this or you're still doing the little top piece?
This one's kind of hard because I don't know what it is, but it feels like it can use something, but I don't know. But dips, like a dipped shape like that is very tricky. Like how do you even close that, if you know what I mean? Um, and I don't think there's enough space.
Then just call this one finished.
Yeah, this won't be finished.
Do you want to see like Ethan's stuff?
Yeah, let's check it out.
All right, give me 1 second. So, give me 1 minute.
I'll just save this again.
Da, da, da. Let me just save these guys. 1 second.
While you're doing that, I'll just try a weird one out.
Okay. So these are some of the, it's a, what is it, an armoire for Cotton Mayo's bedroom. Can you see that?
Yeah, it looks really nice. It looks beautiful.
Yeah. Which one do you like?
Hmm. I don't know. I think I like number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't? Number one, number two, maybe?
I think number 2 is nicer.
Okay.
The other thing is I feel like it's breaking some of the colors a little bit from the bedroom in number 2, like that blue. I think it's kind of nice to add another color in there so that it doesn't look like they're all exactly the same palette. It's close enough though.
Hmm.
I like that.
It looks really nice.
So that's that. That's the insides.
Oh, inside looks great.
The legs look great. So it's got that mid-century feel.
I can't tell the difference too much between A, B, and C in the inside.
It's subtle. It's mostly on the sides.
Oh, I see it on the side.
Like they're all, but you're right. For the most part, any one of those will do. Stitching. That looks like a pain in the butt. Bobby says he likes number 1.
The stitching looks very nice. Yeah, look at the stitching.
And then the back that you'll never probably see.
You
Poor,
never know.
you
Like,
never know. You never know
yeah. Normally, the area that you don't work on most, it's like
what's
I,
going to be in the shot.
yeah, it's like Murphy's law.
Hmm.
Um, when it comes to 3D, like whatever you gave the least crap about or did the worst part on your thing is going to be the thing that everyone's going to see the most.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's terrible, Murphy's law.
So anyway, that's the lot. That's it before the color.
Yeah, this looks great. I mean, I'm fine if you want to do number two. They all look pretty good.
I mean, I don't mind whichever one. Like I like number 3. I just like this candy cane border around the sides here that is missing from number 3. Like this where the baby blue is.
I see. Well, number four kind of has that, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't have enough contrast maybe. I don't know. Let's get people to vote. Pick your armoire.
Yeah, Bobby likes number one.
Bobby likes 1. Tetsuo, JD Smith,
Netbug,
Netbug. Come on. Pick an armoire.
his eyes went to number one. JD
Number
Smith
1.
is
Well,
also,
number 1 has the most contrast, so your eyes will immediately go to that one for sure.
yeah,
The contrast on 1 is great. I like a little bit of the light blue on the
or
second.
three. So Bobby's like maybe three.
So you see, Tetsuo likes the blue on the second one. I like the blue on the second one too.
Number two looks like Smiling Doa. That influences my decision. Yeah.
4, especially blues added to.
Ruben likes three. Genius, four. Especially if blue was added to outer arch like in two.
Which one would the blue number 4?
Four.
I do agree that if that blue was added on number 4, that would look really pretty. Um,
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to like over art direct that stuff. I think it all looks really good. Ultimately, they all look great. They all look great.
yeah. What a pain in the butt this thing is. Yeah, the insides just they do all kind of look the same. But when you look up close to it, like you could see like the seats actually do have
Yeah, those look great. Right?
color variation.
Mm-hmm. It looks nice. It's a good problem to have. They all look great. And that's like the inside of the door. It has like that nice quilted look. It looks awesome.
Yeah. Janius 20 says they all look super awesome. Yeah, they do look pretty cool. They all look fab. You have to say that with what's the name of that movie about the fashion models?
Um, oh shoot, what happened?
The Ben Stiller movie,
Zoolander?
Zoolander.
Is that
They look fab.
why is it called Zoolander? I never And
That's
there's
his name.
oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, but it still doesn't make any sense. Like
Zip this here.
zookeeper. Yeah. So, all right. So, what are you working on?
Um, I am resaving my base here. Actually, what I should have done, let's just let this save, takes a moment, is I should have taken screenshots.
Blue steel.
The blue
Blue
steel.
steel that are more.
Is blue steel like the same as Magnum?
It's a different look, but it's the same concept. Yeah.
What's a blue steel versus a Magnum?
It's like different looks. So I forget which one was which, but there's one that is like it's kind of like the kick and Karate Kid, right? Like the seagull or whatever. It's like such a look that it'll like blow your head off.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I never actually like saw that movie.
You know, those movies are amazing. You watch that, there's something about Mary. All of those Ben Stiller movies from that era are freaking amazing. Tropic Thunder. I mean, just amazing films.
Yeah, but you can't make Tropic Fun.
You
Yeah.
can't make there's something about Mary. It's about a bunch of like
Yeah,
basically
you can't make that anymore either.
no, they're all of them are like sexually harassing this poor lady. All of them. Zoolander, you could never do that because you're kind of, you know, mocking a sexual orientation. You could not do that either.
That's true, huh?
You can't do any of those movies.
Okay, so here's my two variations here. What's the last one I have? I didn't do the top thing. I don't think there's enough space.
JD Smith says Magnum is a protection, whereas Blue Steel is just male enhancement.
JD Smith really knows.
You
Thank
know,
you.
that's Tom Cruise's best role. I agree with that.
You mean in Tropic Thunder?
Tropic Thunder, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to watch Tropic Thunder. I bought it recently, so we have it. I just have to dig it up, but I have it somewhere. I still buy Blu-rays because I'm an old guy.
I think I'm gonna make this one here, except not as big. I'm just gonna make a cylinder and a fat cylinder on top.
You know, that's almost like Mayan looking.
Yeah, they're really interesting. I don't know. I don't think I can get it to hang like that. Um, yeah, I don't think it would hold that shape. It would be really difficult to make it work. Okay, so here, let's paste this here. I can't see my internal lines. But I'll make a cylinder on top, which is easier than a cone. Okay. And then try to shape this in some kind of way.
Trying to find like some of these like Mayan headdresses. They have that kind of feel to them.
Okay, let's add a point here. And then all I have to do is just create a strip. Um, I'll figure out my lengths.
Are we gonna create an art book? I would love to, but we'll see. One thing I definitely know we want to release for this is a vinyl record of the music that Dan is doing.
Oh, have you played it?
Yeah, of course.
Like the new version on here, on the stream?
With the electric guitar.
I don't know if you did. I don't know if you guys remember.
I'll play it. You're right. I might have not played the final one.
No, we played. We had. I feel like we played Castlevania or something. The version where you said it was Castlevania.
Okay, you want me to play it?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the theme song for the Threadlings. So you got to think John Carpenter, glam rock, and what else? Fantasy. So for this, we always use our same composer. I think we might have shown this, but just in case, we'll just play it again anyway. It's just a minute and 30 seconds, and we brought in a really professional studio electric guitar player. So let's play it.
The audio.
Oh no, you're not.
And you
Okay.
have to share.
Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. I know what it is. Thank you, James, for that. Also share. I'm there thinking everyone is like totally. Here it goes. I'm gonna put the volume up a little bit. Well, that sucks. Why is it clipping out? Is it just playing too loud?
Well, JD Smith says that the sound continues to break up. So
That's
James
so
says it
weird.
could just be the bandwidth.
Okay, well then that's not a good way of showing it.
Our connection strength dropped. So yeah.
Our internet is getting worse and worse, I feel.
Yeah. I think we need like a new service provider.
Sounds great when it's playing. That breaks the heart. Uh, Here, I'll put I'll put it on Instagram and you guys can hear it there. How about that? I'll put it on our Instagram page with the poster. So
I think that's a good idea.
yeah, I'm gonna put it right now.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. We have to figure that out.
It's not that we're not trying. There's just not a lot we can do. Like if the internet is bad, we've already tried changing it, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's so weird.
Okay, so just back to this. What I'm doing is doing his hat thing. And I'm just trying to do the math. So this length is, I'm trying to punch a hole and I need to know this length and it has to be doubled. So 38.06 times 2,
Take a look at this real quick.
7612.
Do you see what I mean? How some of these shapes look like these ceremonial headdresses.
Yeah, I do see that. They look pretty cool. That one's awesome. Is that like, that's a real museum piece?
That's a real museum piece, yeah.
Yeah, it looks great.
Just made me think of that.
Okay, so this here needs to be 76. I can just make it like this. 7612. Okay, that saves me some pain. Delete the old one. And then try line this up in the center. Okay, so this is going to be a hole. I'm just going to cut it out. I don't know if I would use this later. Okay, and I'll flip this normal. And I'll just sew this here. I think it's going to, I just feel like it's going to fall over, but I can also decide to mirror it. It might be easier to manage. And I'll just cut these. These internal lines are weird. I think here, this hole is not positioned straight. Okay. Okay, that's a better one. And I'll cut this. Cut. And we'll cut this here. Becomes 2 pieces. I meant to keep this other side. And then we'll mirror that over. And then that makes it a little bit easier when I sew this point to this point. Okay, so it'll reverse. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, cool. I have this thing now. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to make that shape and for it to hold. It's just gonna look really funny. Shapes like that won't hold. This will just be, I can put a ball on it. What do you think, Miguel? It could do this, or it could do a
That's fine. Like the half sphere, like that would be funny.
Okay, so let's try that. Let's save this. Let's call it extra E. And then I need to actually, I don't think I can just sew a half dome. I think I have to make like a small strip like that, and then the dome on top, and then it will actually hold the shape. It's really weird looking. Okay. Uh, the length I need is these two, which is 74.61. And instead of just trying to guess, I had this tool all along. The height, let's say it's 5, and this is 74.61. So now it's very precise.
Someone is asking, Netbug is asking, since the clothing starts from the head, how will you decide where the cloth sim starts? What do you mean by that? Do you mean because the head is
Oh, it would sim. It
oh,
would sim the hat too, so it would just wiggle around and stuff.
yeah.
Zort's hat is not like that. His was actually retopologized and set in the rig, so it won't like flop around. His head shape was very difficult to make it a simmable piece, so it was like built as it was made in Marvelous, retopologized, and just made into regular mesh that is just part of the rig. Okay, this one is here. That's here. That's that corner.
I think you should disable your camera altogether because it's still there on the stream. Just turn off the camera icon.
Yeah, maybe that makes things faster. You can also start to see this shape kind of bowing in. It's like, I don't know. That's kind of neat, I guess. Whatever the heck that is.
Of course, that's cool.
Let's save that, and then I'll try to do like a dome. So the circle would be 74. 74.61 times 2, circumference of 149.2. So I'll just tap the 2.22. This is all mirrored. I don't know if I can. Let's do this. So I'm going to cut this half and then also mirror this because everything is mirrored, and then you have one piece that's not. Sometimes it's weird. I don't think this is going to dome up. I think it has to be, now I'm looking at it, like some other shape.
Like what?
Uh,
Can't you just put like a sphere on top of that? Like a lollipop?
a sphere. How do you make a sphere out of cloth? That's where it gets tricky. But it looked like a flat top initially. Like that. What is this?
What the hell is that?
It's really funny. Okay. This one's not supposed to go up like this. I don't know if there's something I can do to this shape to make it stronger. I'm using full grain leather. I mean, I kind of
Like a shelf.
what is that? Oh, it doesn't matter. It's fine. No. Can we keep that like that?
For sure we could keep it. Why not?
I don't know, because it's weird. What I was going to try was like a different cloth type that maybe is more firm. There's a trim hardware. Let's label these. It looks like a shelf, like a nail. It does look like a nail on its head. And I'm just looking at like the cloth properties, wondering if this would actually help on this piece. I'm putting trim hardware, which is not really. Oh, look at that. Look how it fell.
It just droops down.
Yeah, because I changed the cloth.
Yeah, but that's kind of cool too.
Well, what it means is when it sims, it might really like bounce up and down like a button. Like this.
That's kind of cool, isn't it?
So yeah, I mean, if he's walking around, it's just gonna do this, I assume.
They're calling it a nail.
Yeah, he's nailhead. So we have starhead and nailhead.
I like it.
What I can do here is I can play around with this. So I save this. And what I mean by playing around is you just put other stuff on top. So I'll grab this here, I'll layer clone over, which will produce another piece, and it's already sewn on top. I still have the bottom one. And what I'll do is I'll make this larger by 20%. So it's 120% larger, or it's 20% larger. And we'll let it sim. And this cloth is cotton sateen, which is a more crinkly one. Okay, now it looks like a chef's hat. Let's blow it up with some air. And that is some kind of variation. You can also see like what I mean, like it's like a balloon. I don't know about I don't know about this one. Let's push it. Let's see if I make it like two. What do you think? This.
Looks like my sister used to work at this place called My Favorite Muffin, and they used to make you wear a muffin hat. That looks like a muffin hat.
It's supposed to be a pincushion. I don't know what it is.
You know what? It's pretty cool.
I can't make sense of this stuff. It's okay. Okay, so this one here, what I did is it's actually a circle. By changing the weft and the warp, it's really more like an oval shape. And it's giving it more like that weird shape that Rain had given. That's kind of interesting. What do you think of this one?
I mean, it's a muffin hat.
So it's going to be particle distance 12. Someone just said, um, just thought of something. If their skin is made out of cloth, even if they have clothes on, are they still technically naked? I kind of know what you mean. Yeah, if they don't have clothes on, they're naked. But
Mayo has a little thing. Yeah, so there we were gonna have a scene before where he runs around naked, but we decided to take it out. So yes, technically, if he has no clothes, they are naked, even if they're made out of fabric.
yeah. Yeah, okay, so this is it. This is good. We have a muffin hat, muffin head, and we have a shelf head. I feel like I could push it even further if I just break this connection. And then what happens if I scale it even larger? Like, what does it become? It might become too heavy. It looks like it's about to implode. This would sim really weird. It might be really fun. I don't know. Do exactly what it's doing here. Whatever this is. I kind of like it.
I kind of like it. I think it's silly
Yeah.
in the best of ways.
The real test is to unfreeze these and see if they damage each other, which I don't think that they will. I think it'll be fine. But there are times where I'll freeze something and unfreeze it, and then whatever you made on top just doesn't work. It just blows up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. He is this guy. So, yeah. Let's go a little bit closer. I'll take a quick screenshot. And then we'll just look at the line up here. I think my screenshot is more like this. And then the other things that I would vary later are probably the collars. That's are like what makes them stand out the most. So these are variations inspired by Rain's design. Let's make this. It's kind of fun like that, I guess, because she's gonna come up with shapes that I don't even think of, and because I don't think that naturally they would work, and then I just do my best to try to interpret it, and it just ends. So those are our hats. It's like I can see him running around, very cute. This guy is going to be really obvious when he runs around. We're at 3 o'clock.
You got three. You got the muffin hat, you have the star, and then you have the triceratops. Cool.
Yeah. I can't wait for the short to come out. I still see the voice in the hall for motivation. Thank you.
Oh, that's super nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. We can't wait to see this short too. That way we could be done and go to the beach for
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah. We have to take a break after this,
Yeah.
but we're going to chug.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. We'll see you guys soon.
See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.